my friends, I'm Coach Lauren and I coach the rhythmic classes at MHG. So today we're going to be working with our ball and doing some different activities with it. I'm outside, but you can be inside too, but I'm going to start out with some rolling. I'm going to make my sandwich hands, putting one hand on top, one hand on the bottom. My hands are nice and flat in my, I call them oven mitt hands. So I'm going to roll forwards, I'm going to roll backwards. You could try balancing while you do it. You could try walking forwards while you roll it forward and backwards while you roll it backwards. We could try our passe walks, making sure to point those toes while they're up by our knees. See how long you could balance on each one, and then backwards. Woo! You drop it, that's okay. Alright. Let's see, how else can we roll this ball? I'm going to go on the ground. I'm going to do some seal stretching rolls. So I'm going to put my chest on the ball, and I'm going to roll forward, push, seal, and back with my booty up into a cat pose, and stretch forward, seal, and stretch back, cat. You can do that more times if you want to. The ground here is a little wet, so I'm going to stop doing that for a little bit, but I'm going to try rolling around my body, switching hands, holding the ball underneath so that I don't have to grip it or grab it. I have a nice soft hands and my thumbs aren't really grabbing it, they're just next to my fingers. And then I'm going to go the other way. And with this one too, you can do your passes. That'll make it a little trickier too because you have to go over your leg. You can turn out. And then making sure to do it also with your other leg. And going both directions with those arms. Alright, let's try. I'm going to sit down on my knees, like low knees, and I'm going to try walking that ball around my legs. Again, having a nice soft fingers on it instead of grabbing it or pushing it. And then I'm going to make sure to go the other direction too. Everything we do in rhythmic, we try to do in both directions equally with our right hand and our left hand. And everyone has a better hand, but we still try to make it as equal as possible. That'll help our coordination a lot also. Alright, let's see here. Rolling. Whew, let's wipe your ball off a little if it's rainy. And we're going to roll it all the way down to our toes. And all the way up to our chin. And down to our toes. My elbows are both out and I'm trying to keep my hands squeezed together again, oven mitt hands. And back up. Nice. Alright, let's try that. Very similar to that. I'm going to make my pike shape and I'm going to roll down to my toes and up to my belly button, down to my toes, up to belly button. You could make your feet do a little more work and they could flex and pull them up. This might be easier when you're inside. And you could also lift your toes, woo, and bring it back. Send it to your toes and lift your toes up. V-sit. Rolling. And next I'm going to do it on my arms. I'm going to start on my chin and roll it down to my hands. My hands are going to flip at the last second to catch it, and then they're going to flip to start up that next roll up to the chin. Roll down, flip, and flip to initiate that roll. And then I'm going to go down to my toes from my chin. So I'm going to put my hands on my knees so it almost makes like a train track all the way down to my toes. Woo, and then they're, whoop. So that didn't work. But sometimes you can try to go back and forth. And again, we don't have to be perfect today. We just have to try our best and keep moving, even though we're stuck inside or outside, but not in the gym. Woo. So yeah, you can practice that. So that's just some of Oh, actually, let's try one of our trickier rolls that we haven't done so much in class, but you can practice at home, is our chest roll. So that's when the ball goes from one hand to the other hand. And to get started with that, the first progression we're going to do is bring it from the ball from our hand to our chest, and we're gonna end like this, with both of our elbows out, catching that ball right on our chest. So that's the goal. So I always start with a nice straight arm. My wrist is above my elbow, and my elbow is above my shoulder, and it's just gonna roll gently down. Whoop. So let's try that again. I'm gonna roll it down and catch, just like that. So I'm gonna try that, let's see, like 3 times on each side. 2 and 3. You can always pause it if you need more time. I'm gonna try it with my left arm too. So I'm gonna roll, we'll count that as 1. My left arm is not as good as my right, but that's okay, I'm still gonna practice it. And 3. So once you have that 3 times on both sides, we're going to try the second half of the roll, which is from the chest to your other arm, right? So I'm going to start out using my left arm because that's how it would finish, coming from my right side. So I'm going to start here, I'm going to push with this hand, and this arm's just going to kind of uncoil to catch it. So here we go. 1 and 2 and 3. And so right after I push with this arm, I want to try to make it nice and straight again. So let's do that again with the other arm. And again, this is the side I'm not so good at. So, but we still need to practice it. 1, 2, trying to keep it nice and straight. And 3. So now that once you've practiced both sides a lot, we can try to make it a smooth transition from one hand to the other. So let's try that. We're going to go, whoop, and I'll try again. There's 1, and 2, and again, so right when it leaves this hand, I try to flip it to make it have that nice hand going out like that. So, do it again. Whoop, almost. I'm going to do one more time. Catching it can be a little tricky too. Alright, and then make sure to do it with your other hand. Woo, there's 1. And sort of 2. And oh boy. So yeah, keep trying that. You can probably do it better than me by the end of this. Ooh. Another roll. So I forgot about this one. But you're going to have your feet out like this, and your ball on one side, and we're just going to roll it under your feet, under your knees. And I have a lot longer legs than most of you, so if you need to, lift those knees up, because that'll make it a lot easier to fit. The ball might be bigger than the window between your bottom and your feet there. All right. Oh, so those are some of our rolls. And next, we're going to do some bouncing. So I like to start practicing my bouncing on my bottom, kind of in the same position, with my knees bent and my feet right in front of me. And I'm going to practice, this is called a trap. I'm going to drop the ball right between my knees and squeeze my knees together so that the ball gets trapped under your knees. So, oop, kind of like that. So let's try that a few more times. And you can either squeeze it between your knees or just under. Doesn't really matter. Either way, it's trapped. Nice. All right. Yeah. So next I'm going to do some more bouncing. And I like to start out on my knees because it's just a smaller bounce. I'm just going to drop and catch. I'm going to start this out with 2 arms, making sure that my arms are nice and straight when I drop it and when I catch it. Whew. And if that's easy, you could try it with one hand. Still on your knees. And again, anything we do with one hand, we're going to do with the other hand. You could put your other hand on your hip your non-working arm, or you could put it out to the side, making sure your back is nice and straight and you're looking straight ahead. And then you could switch to switching hands. If the hand that's not working is going straight to the side. Switching, whoop, it's a little tricky. Switching, switching, good. Then you can move to standing, and we're going to do the same thing. Drop and catch with two hands, straight arms. You could add a passe to balance. You could add some walking, or walking backwards. And same thing, I'm going to drop and catch with one hand. If it's tricky to keep that arm nice and straight out there, you could put it on your hip, drop and catch, and walking backwards. Again, you could add your passe walks. Everything you add to it is just going to make it a little more challenging, so feel free to challenge yourself. And then we'll try it with our left hand. And there we go. Now we'll do some walks and walk backwards. And then I'm going to switch my hands. Drop, switch. And again, I always want to catch it underneath the ball so that I don't have to grab it with this straight arm and backwards. So once we get the hang of that, we're going to try some different variations of it. So I'm going to drop it with two hands, but I'm going to try to clap before I catch it after it bounces. So drop, clap, catch. Drop, clap, catch. Try to do like 5 good ones. Again, all with straight arms. That's what makes it the trickiest. Once you have that, you could try a drop, turn around, and catch. So a quick spin, and try and catch it with only one bounce. If that's easy, try spinning the other direction. You could try dropping and bouncing under leg. Again, always catching underneath the ball. You could try spinning and turning around and dropping one hand, two hands, whatever you want to do there. Yeah, if you have a wall to use or a sibling, you could try bouncing and catching with them. You could try bouncing on the wall, catch. You could bounce, spin, catch. And now we're going to work on some tosses. So for our tosses, it's going to be a lot like our bounces. We're going to make sure our arms are nice and straight, and we're going to start with two hands. Toss straight up so that it's coming directly back to your hands and you don't have to move to catch it. And if that's easy with one hand, you could try with another hand, or with just one hand. And then add your arm out to the side. So try a balance. Every element you add is going to make it a little more challenging. And then making sure anything you do with one hand, you're doing with the other hand. Yeah. And then we could try seeing how many claps you can do. So start with 1, 2. Good. See if you can do 9. Oh no. So my ball went on top of the porch, but luckily that was the last thing we were gonna do. So see how many bounces how many claps you can get with before you toss your ball on the roof. There'll be more videos coming out, so keep an eye out for those, and I'll see you guys later. I miss you guys. Bye.